Garland, Texas, 1893. Working hard from hand to mouth, even though they've been set free.
Slaves been set free. Slaves been set free.
But not fully free.
Ain't too much changed in the USA until one ordinary day when enough was enough and our two brave gals made their own way.
From farm girls to outlaws, to legends. Here's how it all went down.
My name is Angelica Cheri, and I'm the book writer and lyricist.
Hi, I'm Ross Baum. I'm the composer.
So, this show is based on a true story about your ancestors. This is amazing. So, tell us a little bit more about this.
When I was a little girl, my grandmother would pass to me her photo album and show pictures of her family members from generations past. And whenever she would show me the pictures of Mary and Martha Clarke, it was always striking because I thought they were white women. We would easily mistake them for white women, and that's what she would let me know, that they were actually passing for white, and they were outlaws, which was always the fun, juicy part. It was always intriguing because she never told the same story twice about what they did. One moment they were train robbers, the next they killed a man, the next they jumped in a bank. And so I came to realize that no one knows the true story, and no matter who else in the family I asked, no one ever had the same narrative. It was always up for discussion. So that is what made it so exciting and enticing to bring this idea to Ross and say, we have something that we can basically make up our own version of the truth. We know that they existed, we know something about them, so let's just have some fun and tell the story we want to tell.
And there was no way to find in history or archives or anything about them?
You know, that's one of the funny things about African American oral tradition and oral history. So much is not recorded.
Yeah.
And there was a time, a deep dive, when we were having our production at the Signature Theater in DC, and I went to the African American History Museum and went through the records and on Ancestry.com and searched through all these different census reports about Mary and Martha Clarke and found interesting information about them, but nothing about their crimes or anything to that sort, which could lend itself to for me to think either this was all a myth and it was not true, or they lived under assumed aliases when they were committing crimes, because there are gaps and things that make me think something must have happened here that we didn't quite put our fingers on. So it's still a secret of history. This is our favorite version of that secret.
Very intriguing, very, very intriguing. Thank you, thank you. And you are the composer, and everybody I interviewed here said the music is the main ingredient. That's
cool.
what moves them. So how did you come to compose this music? What made you come to this and think about this type of music?
I always come through the music through the voice. I love a good melody and I love a big sing, and we have the privilege of working with this just phenomenal company of performers, and specifically their voices are so amazing. And so we have an opportunity to create sounds and music on the stage that shake you to your core. And we listen to so many different music genres when we were writing the show, everything from gospel to pop to R&B, everything from Church of God in Christ to Beyonce, everything in between.
So it is a changing, it's not a fixed composition. It changes with the times, with the moments.
It does. We try to be
It's
truthful
flexible.
to all of the different characters that we're portraying on the stage, from Mary and Martha to their mother, Tallulah, to our ensemble of kinfolk. And so each of those worlds represent a different style of music that all blend together into the score.
And how did you come to this show?
We met at the Graduate Musical Theater Writing Program at NYU over 10 years ago. And this was the idea that Angelica pitched me when we teamed up to write our second-year thesis. And it was the first and only idea that she pitched me because I thought it was the best idea that I ever heard for a musical. And I said, literally, right there in the Starbucks on Astor Place, sign me up.
Oh my God, I know the place.
Yes.
I used to live on Blake Street.
Oh, then right there, you know, yes.
Oh my God, so this is a show that comes out of NYU, really.
Yes.
Wonderful. And when did you get together and finalize and started the show itself?
Well, the beginnings of the process was a mandate for our graduate musical theater writing program. We started writing under that auspice and under the guidance of that faculty, and that started in the summer of 2014.
Wow.
And so we are almost 10 years to date
10 years.
from those first steps.
Very important to say that because you need to have patience and work and work and work when you want the project to end. Well, on this note, we'll see you at the show. Tell us the dates of the show again for our viewers.
Paper Mill Playhouse, Milburn, New Jersey.
April 4th to May 5th.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm Tiffany Rea-Fisher, and I'm the choreographer of Gun and Powder.
Stevie Walker-Webb, and I'm the director of Gun and Powder.
And this musical is something very new and very special, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about why you decided to direct this movie, this musical.
I mean, the music just kind of speaks to me in a way that I couldn't get out of my head. The first time I heard the songs, I was sitting in my house. I read the book, and then I listened to the music, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot stop hearing these songs. And the story just hit me in a place in my heart that, I don't know, there's something about Mary and Martha's journey that I feel like most people will identify with. You know, Martha is on this journey to try to save her entire family, her entire community, and Mary's on this journey to try to save herself. And the play follows them as they discover that they need a little bit of both. You need to be able to be self-actualized and fight for who you are, but you can never lose sight of where you come from, never lose sight of your community. And I think that all of us struggle with that a little bit in different moments in our lives. And so in a way, the play chose me. After I read it the first time, I couldn't get it down. So.
And I know your passion. I remember it from Black Odyssey.
Yeah.
And what about your choreography? What did you have to put into that scene, thinking that it's in the Far West?
Well, what's really wonderful, as Stevie has said, is that the music drives. So it was about me stepping up and stepping into a space that I could match the music. And because the music pulls from different genres, I was able to pull from different styles. So you'll see lots of different movement styles that show up in this piece, to theatrical staging, to gestural pieces, to full dance, burlesque, a show within a show. So that was really fun. But I think at the heart of it, it's just moving from a humane place of a story about sisterly love. And so that it was my job to make sure that whatever movement I'm adding was adding to the story. And it wasn't movement just to have a dance break. It wasn't movement just because I wanted to have someone's leg up here. It's that, no, like, what is this doing for the story? Is it helping our audience understand and connect with these characters? And if it was, then it went in. And if it didn't, then it went away.
I mean, we work together like a braid. I mean, like her deep understanding of the story makes my job so much easier because, like Tiffany said, like her movement is the story. The play's kind of Chekhovian a little bit, where there are scenes that like you don't get to see. Like there'll be like a jump in the action. Like we start here, and then like Angelica will give you like all of this up to a point, and then she'll like time jump until you're on the other side of an event. And what Tiffany has done so expertly is she's used dance and movement to fill in the gaps in the story, which is really, really special. You don't always get that. And so, I mean, you've done that so expertly. Truly, truly.
that is very beautiful. It's an incredible compliment. It's
Yes, it
paying you.
is. Yes, it is. Especially coming from this one.
Yes. And how did you get to this show? How did you?
My name got put into the ring somehow in a way that I'm unsure, and I got a wonderful email in my inbox, and I showed up for a couple of interviews to be the choreographer of this piece, and I got to meet Stevie, and I was just hoping that everyone would say yes to me, because I really felt that I could do this. I felt that I could add something special to this piece. I hope that I have, and luckily, I was lucky enough that they took a chance on me and said yes, and so I'm here, and happily so.
We're the lucky ones. Like her, just like I said, again, her understanding of the story, her commitment to it. Talk about passion. You see this woman when she's like boom boom cat, like she wants the story to be sharp, but the movement to also be sharp. And so I think people are gonna just be blown away by the music, by the movement. The set design is just like what Beowulf Warwick has designed. It's just beyond what you can even imagine. It's epic. It's mythic. And I think people are going to be so surprised by how much the stories of 1893 relate to us right now in 2024.
That's exactly what we were talking about also. So thank you so much. We are out of time, unfortunately. Thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you for doing this show that from what I'm seeing, it's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
And knowing Steven is going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. And it's going to go to Broadway.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Renée, and I play Mary Clarke.
And I'm Liisi LaFontaine, and I play Martha Clarke in Got a Pattern.
And we're twins.
And you are the heroes of this tale, which is a true story. It's based on a true story.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Yeah, okay, so Mary and Martha Clarke, this is 1893, America 1893, so it's just post-emancipation of enslaved people, so we are still sort of indentured servants to what used to own us, and we run into a little bit of trouble and decide that we are, because of the lightness of our skin, going to pass for white to try to fix that trouble. But it actually just gets us into more trouble.
Of course, that's always what happens in stories like this.
Yes.
We end up taking our mom's gun from the cotton plantation that we live on. We go on this wild journey through the Wild West of Texas, robbing people and taking their money to bring the money back to our mom. It's all for a good cause.
We're the Robin Hoods of 1893.
Yeah.
Exactly, the Robin Hood in gonnella, as we say in Italian.
Yeah.
In gonnella means with dresses.
Yes, Robin Hood dresses.
Robin Hood in gonnella. Beautiful. Each one of you, how did you get into this production, and why did you accept it?
It's so funny. I actually did the first reading of this at NYU when Ross and Angelica were creating this for their thesis project, which was like 9-ish years ago. And then I wasn't really a part of it for a long time, and then I guess it's like 2 years ago now, I came back to do a reading with Liisi and everybody, and now we're doing this, and I mean, there's truly nothing like this out there, like that I've ever seen, especially in musicals. And it's two women at the center of it, which is beautiful, which is also something we don't often see. And it's two black women, and it's talking about really difficult, complex, nuanced topics that we certainly have not started the conversations on in a lot of ways. And also it's freaking fun. The music's incredible. I mean, it's just, it's a great collab. Everything seems to be coming together in a really beautiful way to tell this hard of American history that would have gotten lost, and thank goodness it hasn't.
Thank you.
Yeah, I, similar to Ciara, did a version of the show at AMP in 2018 at the New Musicals Festival. So both of us have had like these very long histories with the show. I think one of the reasons we keep coming back to it is I've never been able to relate to a character in this way because I've never played a mixed race person. And I think being able to like explore our history in a way with these characters is very healing and really powerful. And it's great because there's something for everybody in the show. I know when I first heard the music in 2018, like the songs have been stuck in my head since then. So I knew that it was something that if it ever came back around, I had to do. And the process has just been so beautiful, really healing. I think that's kind of the only word I have to explain it. It's such a beautiful group of people, and the story is like Grecian level dramatic, but also really funny and truthful. And I feel like sometimes in musicals things can feel very light and fluffy, and the show definitely has a lot of comedy to it, but I feel like we attack the serious topics almost like a play. So it's kind of unlike anything I've ever seen, and I'm so excited for everyone else to see it.
What does your mom in the show say about you robbing people to get the money back?
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know what the robbing for quite some time.
Yeah. She gave us the gun as like protection. And then
Martha goes a little further with
figure out that we can get money faster by robbing. So she doesn't know. She's at home. I'm sure she'd be very upset.
Well, what she doesn't know, okay.
That's fantastic. Let's like nowadays, right? When mom doesn't know, mom doesn't fear. What were one minute each, or like your projects before this that you think were most important for your career?
Wow.
I think both of mine were on the West End in London. So I did the original company of Dreamgirls in 2016, and I was the original company of Moulin Rouge in 2021. So I played Tina and I played Satine, both very like glamorous, objectified women. And now I'm doing the exact opposite. And I think like Martha is so grounded and like fierce. She's a lot of masculine energy. We're definitely very like covered up in the show, and so it's kind of very opposite to what I usually do, but it's very empowering. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I think my roles have sort of run the gamut. I did Mary and Pippin, the Rocket Revival of Pippin. I did Esmeralda. Actually, at Paperbell, I did Esmeralda and Hunchback and and I think the biggest thing for me, I played Elsa and Frozen. I think I've often played these women who have power, and they're in power even if they're not sure how to show it, or if our society keeps them from showing it, which is kind of on par with Mary. I think she starts this journey, I'm sure, sort of closed off and nervous about, certainly not on board with stealing, but as things progress, we get to see both of them step into their power in different ways, which again is like part of why I love the story so much. I love watching women become empowered.
Yes.
Because it's a little difficult in society to do that. So,
and especially in the time period that this shows in.
Yes. Yeah, where women were really. One last thing, what you want people to take home from this show? What is the message?
I mean, I think there's a lot of really beautiful themes about community, about love, about family, about lineage, about empowerment. But I hope more than anything, which I hope for most shows, is that people go home having conversations. I think everyone's going to sort of see this from a different perspective because there's so much going on. It's very rich, very layered. And I think I'm just hoping that people are like, all right, I got to talk about this. I want to know what you think. I want to, especially some of the, like you said, the more sort of complicated concepts of being mixed in Black America, and just our history of racism, of slavery, of stratification, of division, and also the opposite of how we've come together and come to this place where we are today.
Yeah, and just to piggyback, I just hope that mixed race people can come into the show and feel represented and seen and feel like they have two amazing roles that they can, audition for down the line when it's on Broadway.
Nominee.
It's gonna be Broadway very soon.
Speaking of existence.
It's gonna be Broadway. Thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So.
Hi, my name is Jeannette Bayardelle, and I play Tallulah Clarke. I am the mother of the two twins, Mary and Martha Clarke.
Hi, my name is Aaron James McKenzie, and I play Elijah.
Elijah. Who is Elijah in the show?
Elijah is the hired help of Jesse, and he comes in a story as a part of Martha's side story, and they sort of find themes of unity, and he helps her and she helps him in their personal journeys as well. And I don't want to tell too much about what happens.
So, Martha, how does this story evolve? Because your two daughters, at a certain point, they go.
Yes, they leave, and I am not happy about it in the beginning. But what they have done was they have created a way to provide financial liberation for us, and they decide that they want to pass in other towns and get money that way. Initially, I am not for it because I'm like, listen, it is dangerous. If you get caught, this could be the end of the night. So initially I'm saying no, but they convinced me. They sing that song, Wide Open Plains. It's their one song, and they convinced me, like, Mom, listen, we're going to do this, and we're going to bring back money to you, and everything is going to be fine. And I'm like, okay, I eventually say yes, but I also give them something, a little something to take with them, just in case they run into some trouble. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, you were the one who gave them that. Okay.
I give them a special tool. And so, yes, that's the part of play. So everything that they're doing in the show basically is for this liberation, for our family. But they do get caught up in their journeys because life happens and they're exposed to that lifestyle of being white and what that privilege means. So they have to navigate through that.
Very interesting turn.
Yeah.
And what about you? What do you do about this?
I'm so sorry?
What about you? When they start going around, roaming around, what do you think?
As Aaron or as Elijah?
As Elijah.
As Elijah, I think he's sort of enamored by the two of them, specifically Martha. He, for the first time in a long time, feels like he's seen for who he is under the uniform and under the job that he is. And so at that point, he's really ready and willing to do anything to help her along her journey. And so he kind of gets and aids into some bad behavior. So he's sort of on the fence, but by the end of the show, he's very much Team Martha and Mary.
What do you think this show can teach, and what do you think people should take home from this show? Because what they do, what your daughters do, is to recover your property, right? Which was yours, right?
Well, what they do is they're fighting for liberation, and they feel like everything that they've taken, which considered them an outlaw, they feel like they have taken back. So what I'm hoping that the audience can get from the show is basically a different perspective. You know, a lot of times we see the white perspective, and a lot of times we see the black perspective, but we don't necessarily see the journey of the person that's mixed. So hopefully young mixed children can come and see this and say, that's my story. I feel seen. Not basically on what the story is about, but just what was the outcome of the story, the revelation that Mary and Martha had, saying that I can be both. I can be proud of both sides of my heritage.
Which is very important because in this country, when someone has a white parent and a black parent, it can't really embrace its full heritage because it's considered your parent. So the rest is, and it's a pity because it's a richness, right?
So hopefully, this helps start up the conversation again and helps people just realize, this is a perspective. It's just not one thing. You have, like you said, you have that. Once you have a drop of black in you, you're black.
Yes.
Well, why isn't it? Once you have a drop of white in you, you're white.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So just to have that conversation and allow mixed people to say, I am black and white, and maybe I don't have to choose. Leave that up to them.
Yes, that's absolutely important, especially in these times where there is this continuous, they're trying to erase black history. It's very important. And this story is based on a true story, right?
It's based on ANGELICA CHERI's great aunts. And that's what I love about it. That this is not fiction. Like, this isn't made up. This is a real story. This is something that really happened in history. So I'm happy that we're able to capture it. So it's like a live history book.
What do you want this show? Where do you want this show to go after Paper Mill?
Broadway. We're not confused.
Yeah, and then turn it into a miniseries.
And then a movie. And we want to be in the cast.
Yes.
From what I've seen, this is Broadway bound.
Oh, yes.
It sounds, it looks.
It's powerful. It is really powerful. And I'm not just saying that. There's a number that we sing at the end of the show, and every time we go through the show, we sing it. We're like all in tears, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is so special. It is such a special piece.
Can you give me one of those that you did before?
Give me one?
Yep.
That's it.
Period.
You gotta come back. You gotta come back.
Your voice is amazing.
Impeccable.
It's amazing. It goes into your soulful. So thank you for the. How did you get to this show?
Okay, well, the story with me is, wait a minute, you tell how you got the show.
I joined in October of last year, so it's pretty still recent for me. I just found out about the workshop that they were doing, which was the last on a long line of workshops and readings and iterations that they've done with this show. But yeah, my agent sent me the information, and he was like, I've heard about this, and I was like, I've heard about this too, and he's like, there's a lot of really good backing behind it, and honestly, truly, like my first read through the material, I was like, this is different, and so I've been a part of it since then.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That was pretty blessed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I actually saw this show, I think it was in 2017 at NAMT, and I was in another show, and I sat through this production, and I think they did just the first act, and I was like, I want to be in that show. And then, like a couple of years later, it came across my agent's and my manager's desk, and here we are. So I'm so excited that I'm finally a part of it. And I've been doing it now for maybe this is the third, I did 2 workshops, and so now I'm finished.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for this conversation, and break a leg.
Thank you.
And I know this is going to go to Broadway.
That's right. Yes.
Speaking of, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and doing this. My Harlem, which is a show about Black excellence and theater and all these wonderful events.
Amazing.
Tell our viewers your name and the character you play and a little bit about that.
Yeah, my name is Hunter Parrish. I play Jesse Whitewater, who is an outlaw in our story. The story revolves around 2 sisters who escaped slavery and find their own way, which happens to be with a gun. Because in the Wild Wild West, that's just how you got to do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you came from. So I own a town, and they happen upon my town, and they kind of underestimate me a little bit, and then I fall in love with one of them. And so,
in which way do you own the town?
I literally own the town. I had so much money that I bought the town for myself, and I employ it all. We have tourism and people coming in and out that use it and funds it, but the town isn't even on the map because I'm an outlaw, so I like to keep things private. But these, beautiful women come in, and through a little mistaken identity, I fall in love with one of them, and some tension ensues, and we have a good dramatic story.
Okay. You don't want to go into more details, or can we?
I wonder how much. The show plays with race. It's rooted in emancipation and what it looked like just post-emancipation, and it deals with the reality that there is not just black and white, whether that's race or from a philosophical standpoint. There is a blend, and sometimes that blend can be quieted or suffocated in a way, and these our two main heroines represent a blend. They were born of a black mother and a white father, and that's part of the mistaken identity that comes in, and the idea that our past and our history and our story, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, is still a part of who we are. Whether we want to escape it or find a way to escape it, and grappling with it. That's what one of the main characters grapples with. How do I own my history and still try to make a good life for myself? And I kind of get right in the center of that.
That is a very current message.
Yeah, that's right.
In this time, because they are trying to take away history.
That's right.
Black history in particular. So it's right, a very important message that is.
Yeah, as all good arts and musicals should do, it's should make you feel and think, and also should not feel too distant from you. Why would this evoke something in you? Oh, that's because it's not current. It is quite current. So, yes, to your point.
Yeah, and it's based on real happenings.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, our author. It was her family story. Some of it's been elaborated for fun and for play, and the backdrop of the Wild Wild West is just magnetic. But ultimately, it's grounded in a soulful story that is incredibly relevant.
Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you.
And good luck with this show.
Thank you so much.